Hi, it's been a while since I last did a video on repetitive strain injury, and unfortunately for me it's not good news. For the second time in 6 years I'm off work, so I've been off work for nearly 6 months, and I've seen some improvement in my condition in that time. I've been doing things to try and help my condition, but it's not clear when I'll be able to go back to work. So I just have to keep carrying on and trying to get better. But I just wanted to do a short video on some symptoms that I experienced before I got RSI that, in retrospect, I wonder if perhaps they were some kind of early warning sign. Because, I know lots of people who spend too much time on the computer like I used to, and I don't want my friends to have to suffer the same effects I have. I mean, the condition can range from anything from, mild occasional pain to a completely disabling condition far worse than what I've got. So, if you're in a group that's potentially going to be at risk because you spend too long on the computer or don't do enough exercise or a combination of things, then it's important to just be aware that you should try and just look out for yourself and try and put things right if you think there are improvements you could make to the way you do things. So the first symptom I experienced was many years before I got RSI. So I developed RSI in 2007. But I remember in 2002 I had a period, just a very short kind of episode of extremely painful kind of low back pain, where it would just come on for 10-20 minutes, and I'd feel almost unable to walk. I'd just be lying down until it went away, and then that happened for a while or so and just seemed to go away on its own. And I don't know if that was related to my future condition, but one thing I did find when I first started seeing a physiotherapist for my RSI was that a large number of my back muscles were kind of largely seized up, and it took several months of quite intensive massage and physiotherapy to actually get things starting to move in a bit of a more normal way. And from what I've read in the books about RSI and so on, it does suggest that muscles, when certain muscles become kind of tense and kind of go into a kind of spasm state, that sometimes this can happen without you really particularly noticing, and the body tries to compensate. So, I mean, I do wonder now, looking back on the back pain I used to have, if that was a kind of precursor to what came later. The second symptom I noticed, and this may have been around 2003, I'm not sure, was that I was getting chest pain, and I was pretty young at the time, but I went to the doctor just to get it checked out, and what the doctor said was that she thought it might be muscular and nothing to worry about. And I didn't really think about it. It's like, okay, I don't really know what that means, but again, in retrospect, if I was getting kind of tense muscles in my chest, that seemed to have been another issue that I've had, that my physiotherapists have tried to deal with, and again, that could be a sign of what was to come. So the third symptom I got, and again, this was, I'm not sure exactly of the year, but definitely the early 2000s, I was experiencing this, and definitely by around 2005, I remember I actually found an online chat session log where I'd actually mentioned having this. I got a kind of constant ache in my neck, and it would feel like it would want to click the entire time. And again, looking back, that seems like the kind of thing that could be related, because it's something I experienced a lot more after developing RSI, and think a problem a lot of people have with RSI, and particularly myself, was that I would sit with a kind of forward head posture like that the entire time, or just not really be aware of my head posture. And even now I notice if I actually kind of pull my head back into a slightly more natural position from that it just kind of falls into, and kind of rotate my head, I don't get any clicking, whereas if I have my head forwards, I often find my neck just kind of clicks quite kind of disturbingly, just quite oddly. So again, with all of these things, I'm not sure if those were actual precursors to my condition, but I think in retrospect, if I'd kind of experienced these symptoms, actually gone to see, say, a physiotherapist, and kind of got someone to actually kind of check out the state of my muscles and so on, I might have actually been able to see that my body wasn't really working that well, and something could have been done about it before it got really bad. I've already talked about my initial signs when the actual RSI itself came on in 2007 in a previous video, but just briefly, I started getting a kind of constant ache in my arm that wouldn't go away, and within a very short period of time it had got drastically worse. So I think a really important thing to take away is that you have to get treatment early. The earlier you get, help from a decent physiotherapist, and it can sometimes be hard to find someone, but there are quite a few, near where I live. The earlier you get seen to, the less likely it is to turn into a serious condition. It's more likely to be either, mild or just a very temporary thing. The worst thing you can do is just delay getting treatment. For me, I think it was a month before I saw someone. I thought that's not really that long, but really I should have seen someone within days or weeks, not a month. So if you want to learn more, I've got more info on kind of my history of RSI on my website and on the videos on this channel. But just try and keep well, and don't let what happened to me happen to you.